And hello again, everyone. Welcome to Riverkings Center Ice. I'm your host, Van Patrick Oates, and of course, we have the head hockey coach of the Wisconsin Rapids River Kings, Paul Peckman. Hello there, Paul. How are you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. And you know what? You've got to be really, really excited. I mean, you finished, your scrimmages undefeated. You're now 2-0. How does that make you feel?
Well, I wake up with a grin on my face every morning, so far so good. Can't complain.
That is awesome. Listen, we want to get to a couple of things here first. Our program, River Kings Center Ice, is brought to you by Rapids Awards and more. More than just awards. Gracie's Restaurant. Also, Rome Country Deli and Meats. And WIRI Radio 105.5. And you can catch every single home game of River Kings hockey this season in WIRI. I'll get that down yet here. So 105.5. So Coach, let's and then of course we have a couple of guests here today, and glad to have these guys on board with us. We have Matt LaJoy and Nico Peel, and hopefully I said that right here and didn't slaughter it too doggone bad, but we'll get to you guys in just a little bit. So let's kind of recap for those. It's been several weeks since we've done a podcast, but let's go back to the scrimmage, and let's talk about that, because I just thought that you had a heck of a preseason, from that standpoint. And let's begin there, Paul.
Well, the preseason showcase that we had down in the Dells, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, we had we had a good game against the UW lacrosse team.
Here we go.
I think we pretty much dominated from the get-go, which was good to see. I mean, you have guys from all over the world coming together here, so that's why I set that up like that, so that we can see who's got some chemistry and kind of right off the bat, and we came out firing. So it was good to see that game.
That you know what, and I think that really that was just kind of one of those really what you talk about is chemistry, gelling from a team standpoint. Mm-hmm. What did the guys do right in that game, that contest against the UW lacrosse, and what do you think they could have improved on?
Well, I think just the excitement, right? The energy, and just knowing that, okay, it's game time.
Right.
After all the practices and all that stuff, and I think we're just at a different level. The guys are coming in here hungry and to prove things, and it was good to use that intensity, that speed, that fire that they got going on right now in their belly. So we came out pretty good, pumped in a few, and then like I said, I think we're a little bit above that. So it was good.
I think that I certainly believe that opened a lot of eyes within the division, within the league, dominating UW lacrosse like you did.
I don't know if it really, I mean, it's not NCAA level, but it's still decent hockey, and so it gave me a gauge where we at right now, and we got some talented guys on this team, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see the progression that we make, and the next two games that we had that weekend against the Chicago Cougars and against the Dells. One of the Dells teams that they kind of split up. So, Chicago Cougars is a very good team, and that we tied 1-1. So it was a good game, good indicator of where we're at and where we need to improve. So I like that, and then that really kind of gave me the gauge. Okay, what do we need to work on coming into the home opener and the season opener, which was last weekend.
Right.
So,
well, let's talk about opening up against the Dells Ducks.
Yeah.
So I mean, it wasn't all quackers down there, but
it was a lot of fun.
It was. I'm sure it was. So so you guys really dominated with shots on goal on the Friday night game against the Ducks. 62 shots on goal.
You know,
that you guys, I mean,
and they probably blocked another 20. Right? So
okay, all right,
it was played well
sure.
for the
So,
most part.
so talk about the game in general, and I mean, and what you took away from that contest going into the opening night of hockey here in Rapids.
What I took away from that was basically that if we play to our strengths, we're going to be tough to beat. And we just took it to them pretty good. Don't get me wrong, we had a little letdown coming into the third period, and we let them sneak back into it, and kind of, it was a little too close than I expected it would be, and then we kind of pulled away again at the end and scored a couple goals. But, you know, when you outshoot somebody 62 to 14 or whatever it was, I don't remember.
Right.
20, but their goaltender played very well. They have a very good goaltending, and they have two very good goaltenders as far as I know right now. So we have to do a better job of putting the puck in the net. When you shoot that many times, you got to score more than 5. And so their goalie and their defense, they sacrificed a lot. They blocked a lot of shots. We got to do a better job of finding those open seams and putting it in areas where we have to bury them. So that really gave me, okay, that's what we're working on. You know, we got to get to the net more. We got to learn how to be aggressive around the net. You got to get hungry, and that's what I want to see out of these guys.
And I love that word hungry, because that, you know, you're always striving for the next level, and you know, even though it's very early in the season, it's like you need to build on that momentum to get you to the next level. That's always a big thing. Talk about outstanding performances in the game against the Ducks.
No, we had a lot. I think on the back end, I think Bora, our goalie, played pretty well. You know, he wasn't tested a lot, but I think he did what he needed to do, which was a good start for him. I think these guys played very well. Both of them played very well, and they play on the same line together, and they've had chemistry since day one with Sebastian. So I think I'm expecting big things from these guys here. So
Excellent.
And Matty's already off to 2 goals in 2 games. Nico is the guy that's pretty much feeding him, and Sebastian as well. So they're all getting involved, and which is what I want. You know, it's not a one-man show here. So it's going to take all of us to generate every goal. You know, it takes everybody. So that's you know, the other guy. I think Kyle Capello is another guy that's is him and Cameron are 2 horses back there on defense. They log a lot of minutes, and I thought they played very well.
Very good. So then we have the opening night here in Wisconsin Rapids, and I mean, you know, this franchise has been in existence for not that long, but I got to tell you, when it was a ruckus crowd, and congratulations to you and the organization,
Thank you.
because you guys set an opening night season attendance record. I mean, that's got to send chills up you.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting. I know a lot of these guys have never played in front of that many people before, so to do it in the home opener, that's what they've been waiting for. That's what, you know, when you recruit these guys and you tell them what's here, and I haven't even been here, right? So, but I know just by watching playoffs, but you don't know home openers. You know it's a gradual effect, and to have that many people in opening night, it was pretty exciting. It was.
Well, the pep band was they were primed. I mean, everybody was just, I mean, you know, watching you guys on the ice. I mean, that was really exciting from, you know, just from a fan standpoint. And I mean, everybody was hooting and hollering, and again, the band was going, and you know, you guys played really well from that standpoint. Let's talk about you know, a 3-2 victory, you know, in that contest against the Minnesota Moose. So the Moose were on the loose on the ice, and you know, talk about you know, some of the you know, the first period. I mean, It was a very close matchup.
Well, yeah, I think we took it to them. We started out well. I mean, we were up 2-0.
Yes.
Then they get an unfortunate goal. It's a simple breakdown that should have been out of the zone, and it wasn't. And the guy just fires it. Lucas Bryan never even saw it.
Right.
From that far out, if he sees it, he's going to stop it. So we just got to do a better job. And it's keeping the game simple and doing the things which we've been working on this week a lot. Getting the puck out of the zone when you need to. And keeping it simple. And, then we get the third one, right? And now we're rolling. After 2 periods, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves, and it's that last 20 minutes where we can't get complacent, and we got to turn it up a notch, and that comes with experience with each other, and I think over time, we've got to go this way here. We got to finish stronger than we started. Otherwise, it's going to be tough to win games in this league if you fall asleep in the third period.
Yeah, the third period. I mean,
They
played
outshot us.
they played in the Riverkings zone, and I mean, and it was just like, I mean, and I just think so much should be, so much credit should be given to the goaltender.
He stood tall, no question about it. He made some unbelievable saves when we needed it. The one thing that I did take, that I liked after watching film and doing all that is that, for the most part, and there was breakdowns obviously, but defensively, we're starting to figure out what we need to do and recognizing it. We recognize it in practice. We talk about it a lot. It's something that has to be the backbone if you want to win a championship. Defense wins championships. Everybody knows it.
Right.
Okay, but very few are committed to it. And that is what we preach here. And we can do that. They might have outshot us a lot, but very few, and there was a handful, but few were golden opportunities for them. A lot from the outside, that we were pretty much where we needed to be. Some breakdowns, but we got lucky, we got out of there. We'll take it, you learn from it, you move on, and hopefully we're better prepared this weekend.
Lucas Bryan, the goaltender. I mean, he was just, and I think all the fans realized that, understood that, and really appreciate the effort that he put forward, along with the defense. And let's talk about the penalty killers, because I mean there are a number of opportunities for the Moose to take advantage of those, from that standpoint. And I mean, the penalty killers were just great in that third period.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are part of that group, so I like to rotate guys, through, and we have a handful of guys. I'm not a guy that's going to play, 1 or 2 sets all the time. We have quite a few. Like I said, we got talented guys on here that can play on both sides of the puck. So to get them in early and get them that experience, and have that kind of success, that's very encouraging. And we're only going to build on that. So it's good, and know that you got a goaltender in a net like that. So if you can just keep everything on the outside and not let them get those prime opportunities in the slot,
correct,
we'll be all right.
There you go. It was again, just from a fan perspective, just watching it and watching the penalty, everybody just doing what they were needed to do. Mm-hmm. And I thought there were a couple of times where, I mean, it looked rough, but you guys came through with flying colors, which was pretty good. Mm-hmm. So again, our program, Riverkings Center Ice, brought to you by Rapids Awards and More, Gracie's, and also Rome Country Deli and Meats, and then also WR. Let's try this again. WIRI 105.5. So that is. That's the radio station that is covering all home games for the Wisconsin Rapids Riverkings. Mm-hmm. So let's get to today's guest here. So on the program, and I'm glad these guys are joining us. Let's start with Mike LaJoy. So Mike,
Matt Lovejoy.
Matt, sorry about that, Matt. So Matt LaJoy, and Matt, your home is in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the weather from New Hampshire compare to that of Wisconsin Rapids?
I mean, right now it's about the same. You know, it's starting to get colder, but I've heard it gets a lot colder out here than it does back home.
Well, you'll get acclimated on it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just all part of it. Tell me about your family.
Uh, you know, they're a big hockey family too. You know, we're from New Hampshire, so, you know, my family's a big Bruins family. I never really fit in too well with the Bruins, but, you know.
Brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah, I got two brothers. They're both younger than me, so I'm the oldest. One of them's Cam, the other one's Blake. So,
That's just all part of it. Sure.
yeah.
And then mom and dad, have they been very supportive of your hockey
Oh, yeah.
your hockey efforts?
They've been very supportive. You know, they've always had my back. They always, you know, try to just do what's best for me. And they allow me to, you know, make decisions that are best for myself.
How did you get started with hockey? I'm always curious, when we ask these questions, what triggered?
I mean, my dad kind of just told me you're gonna play hockey when I was little, and I remember first time skating, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't like the way the helmet feels. But
Right.
my dad was like, I don't care. You're playing hockey. So
And what age? What age did you begin?
I started playing hockey when I was like 4 or 5. You know, when I was really young.
Very good. So what's been your best moment ever? Historically in over the course of your very young career. What do you remember?
What do I remember?
Yeah, I mean,
What's your best moment?
what's your
My
best moment? Yep.
So far, it was the home opener here. Just coming out and seeing all those people. And then when I scored and you look up and you see everybody looking down at you, everyone like smiling, cheering, that gave me butterflies.
That's you know what that just being from the Wisconsin Rapids area. I mean that makes me feel really good. From a community standpoint, which I just think is absolutely outstanding. So
Yeah.
that's really neat, and thanks for sharing that. I certainly appreciate that. All right, so for our young audience, all right. So you were talking about the Boston Bruins being part of the household and watching. Who do you want to watch? Who do you admire in the National Hockey League, or who do you aspire to be?
I mean, that's a tough question. There are so many guys out there in the NHL who I try to aspire to be, but I mean, if I had to base my game off of someone in the NHL, I would say, more or less like a Charlie Coyle. He has some skill to his game, but he's a very, grimy type of player.
Okay. Sure. So, all right. So you want to get into sports medicine?
Yeah.
Now, that's a tough field.
I mean, yeah.
So what are your next steps?
I mean, my next steps, of course, are to, go to a good college that has a very good sports medicine program. I mean,
Go from there.
yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
There you go. And what are your takeaways early here in Wisconsin Rapids?
Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows you. I mean, there's been times where I'm at work. Oh, you play for the Riverkings? Oh, yeah. Oh, what's your name? What number are you? I mean, it's a very close-knit, it's a very small town, but, everybody cares for the Riverkings. Everybody likes us, so.
That's to your credit, recruiting the right individuals coming to this community, because it's a very close-tied community. Everybody does know everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I share that all the time. I mean, there are no secrets over here. I mean, it's pretty, it's tight-knit. That's a big thing,
Mm-hmm.
and people, and we talked about this on our last podcast. I mean, the kids worship you guys. I mean, it's you guys just take everybody to a little bit of a different, a different avenue, and to your credit, and then also to coach's credit, for the community approach, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit here. But that's awesome, and thanks for being part of the River Kings hockey, and we love having you here.
I mean, it's a pleasure playing for the Riverkings. I've never really been a part of a team like this. The team that I played for back home it was just a hockey team. Here they treat us like pros. It's nice.
Excellent. That is that's outstanding. Nico Peel. So, what is Nico Peel? What do you know? I mean, how's your experience been?
Oh, I've been loving it here so far. We get a lot of nice things. We have a gym up there, a shooting area, so it's really nice.
So you're a Minnesota native,
Yep.
or should I say Minnesota? Sorry, bad humor.
That's all right.
So, okay, life in what was it, White Bear?
Big Lake.
Big Lake. Okay, we're within the area here. So, how has growing up in Minnesota, and how did you get started in hockey?
Well, I guess when I was really young, probably 3 or 4, my parents put me on skates and got me out there. And, of course, I was a little kid. I wasn't a huge fan, but I kept on going with it, and I fell in love with the game. So
That's and who have obviously you had the Minnesota Wild, and that's been, is that kind of your team that you root for, or are there other teams that you follow?
Well, when I was littler, I was a big Boston Bruins fan.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of weird coming from Minnesota, but I don't really know why. But recently, I've really been into the Wild, especially the last couple of years. They're
Right.
starting to get some really good players. So
Get some decent help over there, and that's always fun.
yeah,
So tell me about your family. Your mom, dad, any siblings?
yeah. So I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
And all my brothers played hockey growing up, and so that was really fun. I actually got to play juniors with the brother right above me, so that was awesome. It was a good experience.
I would imagine. And did you guys ever tussle out on the ice?
No, we joked about it, but we never did.
And then what about the other siblings? I mean, are they into sports? Are they?
Yeah, of course. Our whole family is really into hockey. My parents are really big Wild fans, so
Okay.
yeah, it's always just been a hockey family.
Right. Well, that's always exciting. So what is your best moment in hockey that you can share with our audience?
Well, I guess one that comes to my mind right away was, I remember I was little and we played a whole outdoor tournament. I don't know what level I was, but that was really fun just to be outside and play a game. It's awesome.
And it wasn't with the environments, in Minnesota. I mean, that gets as they're as cold as what the heck we are, unless you're in International Falls, and it gets a little more fresh.
Yeah.
So, and do you recall where that took place?
It was in Coon Rapids,
Okay.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. And what was so special about that moment? Just being outside, or?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what it was, but just playing outside, there's something different about it. I just absolutely love it.
Just the fresh air. And I don't know if you played on a lake or not, but you play on a lake, and I happen to play on a lake that was black ice.
Oh
And
my!
It's just,
Wow.
there's nothing. You can't even describe it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And so when you're outside and you get the cold air and you feel like you're free, like never before. It's unbelievable.
Well, I just know my experiences, and I never played hockey, but growing up on the farm, we had an ice pond,
Okay.
and we would scrape it off, and our rule of thumb was no lifting of the puck because we just didn't have a lot of clothing on at that point. But
Yeah.
you played in tennis shoes and pretended that you were skating and
Mhm.
But gosh, you're right. I mean, it's outdoor. That's just it's there is something to be said about that.
Yeah.
So
So different. I just love it.
yeah, very nice, very nice. And what um, who's your favorite player? Who do you watch?
Jeez.
Besides,
Wow.
besides the Wild, I mean, but who's your favorite player that you aspire?
I don't know. Well, I've been really watching Kaprizov. I mean, he plays for the Wild, but his game is just all around. Just I don't know how to say it. Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go.
So
So, what about? Do you have a favorite food?
chicken Alfredo.
Okay.
You
Do
didn't think twice.
I mean that
was
just
easy.
rolled.
That was
just
easy.
rolled. Okay. And what about? Do you have any dislikes, or do you like everything?
I like to think I'm not too picky of an eater, but just like little things, I guess, like onions I don't really like, but
Okay.
that's about it, really.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna same question for you. What about that, Matt?
Favorite food or-
Yeah, favorite food?
My mother's shepherd pie.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
There you
Very
go.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. And what about a dislike?
I mean, I like to say that I'm not really too picky, but cooked veggies, not my thing. Not my thing at all.
And Coach, do you have a favorite food?
No, I eat anything.
Oh, that's awesome. That is good. Um, well, I just want to bring to everybody's attention. You can certainly go online to wr-cm.org, and that is the Wisconsin Rapids Community Media, where you can actually pick this up. And they'll also have a link on riverkings.com. By the way, spent a little time on the River Kings site over the last couple of days, and to the management credit, to the ownership group's credit. I mean, it's very easy to navigate on the site. And Paul, we didn't get into a lot the last podcast, but maybe you can even talk a little bit about the ownership group, because I don't think a lot of people know about the ownership group and where they're specifically located, and maybe talk about some of the top individuals associated with this group.
Well, the majority owner, John Schwartz, is from Chicago,
Yes.
and he created this program. And myself, Lane Hauk, and John McNeish are from North Carolina. And John McNeish actually is in South Carolina at this point. But so the three of us are, we all have different niches, I guess, is what makes us a pretty strong group.
Right.
And Lane is the guy in charge of the marketing and the website and all that that we're doing here in social media and all that stuff that's getting out there. And he's, obviously does a great job, so it makes it easy. And it's only going to get better as we continue to figure out and navigate through this first season and how we can improve and how we can make it better.
There we go. And I love on the website, they actually have player profiles.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can really dig in deep and, really find out what you guys are all about. And, I think that's what brings everybody together. And it's like, and then, fans will have a certain player that they really, really root for and et cetera. But I just, to your credit and to, the guys' credit for, creating this piece. And I just think that really kind of sets everybody apart, sets this organization apart from everybody else, out there. So, so kudos.
Well, I appreciate that. And honestly, Van, is the purpose here and the reason why I came back to juniors from college, coaching college, is to help these guys find their way to the path to the next level, whatever level that may be. And doing that, it's through exposure. right? And having a player profile, and the social media and the marketing and all that stuff comes into play a lot more than people think, right? There is just way too many people, players in junior hockey, right? So how does a coach see 5,000-6,000 players in a season,
Right.
right? It's not, but what we're trying to do, and obviously they got to do their part here. They got to play the game and do well. But getting them out in front of as many coaches as possible, that's my job. That's our job, as ownership, as coaches, to help these guys. And that was my pledge to their families, and which is why they're here. You know, they entrusted me with that in mind in helping their sons get to the next level.
Well, and I'll also talk about, and you can share this, Riverkings community involvement. Now, you guys were just out at Pumpkin Fest, and that was awesome to see you guys out there walking around. And we're going to have to bring Rhodey on our mascot over here, and get him online, and actually we'll interview him, and because I've got a.
I don't know how much he's going to say.
Sometimes it's priceless. Just with the visuals that he brings to the plate. So, but
Yeah.
and people, I mean, the kids love him, and I mean, we were just having so much fun at the game on Saturday night. But and again, talk about the community involvement, with the Riverkings.
Very important. Very important. That was something that I made sure would happen when I came here. It's very important to give more than you get. And for us, especially with the new chapter, so to speak,
Correct.
right? You got to make your presence felt. And for me and for us, it's about getting out there and letting everybody know who we are, and what we're about, what my mentality is, and what the structure and culture of our program will be, and how these guys act and how they conduct themselves, because they are treated like pros. So you got to act like men, and be responsible, be accountable for everything we do. So the more we're out there, the more they see, and the more we help, the more support we get. And at the end of the day, I mean, you see how many people sit there in the home opener. Imagine what it's going to look like in the playoffs.
I can't wait to see how this season pans out, because I just think we're going to draw more and more individuals around the Wisconsin Rapids and the outer line communities, to see you guys actually play, and that's exciting. I mean, that's really, really exciting. So the again, you can actually see the podcast on the Riverkings website. You can also go on to wr-cm.org, which is the Wisconsin Rapids community media platform. YouTube, Twitter, Roku, and additionally Facebook. You got the Ducks again on Friday night.
Okay.
What they're going to be ready for you.
Well, you can't take anything for granted. We have to go in and take care of business, and it's really about not giving back those 2 points right now. So we have to stay hungry. We have to approach every game like it's our first. It's 0-0, and that kind of mentality. And we got to go in there and dominate. And yeah, they're going to be ready to battle, and we have to be up to the task. So that's what I expect when these guys show up.
There you go. And then our next home game is against the Moose. So I mean, it's
no easy feat. I mean, they're a good team. We got a couple good bounces, and we got to play better. We have to play better against them. We cannot give up 15 shots in the last 10 minutes and expect to win every game. That cannot happen. So we have to do a better job in our own zone, especially late in games. that's the message, and that's been said a few times this week. So.
There we go. Well, let's see if we can get a few more people into the Southwood County Recreation Center,
That'd be great.
and let's see if we can beat some more attendance records. Because I'll tell you what, and I think when you guys see everybody out there applauding and really rooting the team on, I think that just generates just incredible energy.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you guys agree with that?
absolutely.
Yeah,
So we definitely feed off of that. You know, I mean, you feel it, you see it, you hear it. That's extra. That gives you that little extra boost to get over the hump here and take care of business.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, guys, that's a wrap on things here for this edition of the podcast. It's been River Kings Center Ice. I'm Van Patrick Oates, your host, and we'll have another podcast here shortly. But again, the podcast brought to you by Rapids Awards and more than just awards. Gracie's Restaurant. If you get a chance, get over to Gracie's, right in Wisconsin Rapids. Rome Country Deli and Meats. And, of course, WIRI 105.5. They carry all of the River Kings home radio broadcasts. So you can actually be out in the stands, and you can hook up a little transistor and listen to the games. So, I mean, exciting. Again, Coach Paul Peckman, thank you so much, and we certainly appreciate you guys coming on board with us tonight.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
having us.
You bet.